grade friends, welcome to our first ever video reading lesson of the year. I am so excited to be learning with you this way. It is so fun to be here in your iPad, and I am so excited for this story that we are going to be reading today. So just like we do when we are on the carpet, we are going to move through our vocabulary, our anchor chart, and then our story together. Now, because this is just a read aloud, this story does not exist in your My Books. So this is actually a great lesson to start with because you don't need to worry about getting your My Books out. You do not need your composition notebook. All you need right now is you, your brain, and your iPad and your headphones ready to learn. We are just going to be listening and talking through everything together. So because this is our first time, I'm going to kind of help you walk through this process. We are just going to do it like we do it on the carpet, but you get to do it on your own. So just like we've said, if you want to rewind any part of the video to see something maybe you missed, if you got distracted, or if you really liked a certain part of the video and want to watch it again, feel free to do that. You can do anything that you want to do here as long as you are focused and listening, which I know that you are going to be. So, I'm Miss Meadows, for those of you who might not have met me yet, and I cannot wait to be doing all of these reading lessons together with you. So we are going to start with our vocabulary first. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say the word, and then I'm going to have you repeat it after me. So I'll say it, and then I'll go like this, and you can then have a chance to say it, and then I'll kind of talk through with you what it means. Now, this lesson has a ton of vocabulary. So can you just check make sure your thinking brain is on, make sure it's working. Are we good? Give me a thumbs up if you're good. I'll peek and look. Oh, I'm seeing some thumbs up. Okay, let's get started. Our first word is approve. Say approve. Very good. I can hear you. Awesome job. Approve is a verb or an action word. If you approve of something, you think that it's right or good. So I approve of you listening and doing the right thing. That's something I approve of. Teachers can show that they approve of correct answers or good behavior. I approve of you doing the right thing. All of those things are things that you would approve because they are right or correct. The next word's weird. Say weird. Very good. I love hearing you repeat after me. Weird is an adjective, which is a describing word. Something or someone that is weird is odd or strange. So this weird looking insect that would be odd or strange lives in the Amazon rainforest. It does look a little odd or strange. So a describing word we could use to describe it would be weird. The next word is copied. Say copied. Beautifully done. I love that. Copied is a verb or an action word. If you copied someone, you did something the same way that that person did. So right here, Sophie is copying her ballet teacher's moves. She's doing exactly what her teacher is doing. The next word is quivered. Say quivered. Very good. Quivered. I'm kind of quivering right now. Quiver is a verb or an action word. If you quivered, your body shook because you felt cold, scared, or excited. So go ahead and quiver for me. Your body would shake like you were cold or scared or excited. You would shake a little bit. Quivered. The next word is flutter. Say flutter. Very good. Flutter is a verb or an action word. If things flutter, they move back and forth quickly like wings. So butterflies' wings flutter as they fly over flowers, over grass. It means they move very quickly to help them fly. The next word is folds. Say folds. Awesome job. You guys are doing such a great job. Folds is a noun or a person, place, or thing word. The folds in cloth are curved shapes that you see that are not flat. So if you look at this curtain, this fabric here, it has folds, which means it's not flat. It has curved spots where it kind of folds, like we would fold a piece of paper in half. The next word is swayed. Say swayed. Oh, can you say that one a little louder for me? Say swayed. Amazing work. That was great. Swayed is a verb or an action word. If you swayed your arms, you moved them slowly back and forth. So go ahead, take your arms, and you can kind of sway them, move them back and forth gently. You're just swaying them. Don't do anything that might distract or disrupt your friends. Just gently sway your arms back and forth. Beautiful. These palm tree branches, just like your arms, they sway back and forth. They move slowly back and forth. Now you'll notice I'm not going crazy. Swaying is gently and slowly back and forth. And our last word, you've done a great job during this vocabulary part. Our last word is grumbled. Say grumbled. Very good. Grumbled is a verb or an action word. If you grumbled, you spoke in a low voice in an unhappy way. So if I was going to grumble at you, I might be like, I would get really mad, and I wouldn't do that to you because you're amazing and wonderful. But you would talk in a low voice, unhappy, like, oh, I can't believe they would do that. That would be if you were grumbling. You won't see that from Miss Meadows, I promise. Take a second, kiss your brain. Beautifully done, because we are going to be moving on now to our anchor chart. Our anchor chart today is on characters. Can you say characters? Beautiful. Now, you might have heard the word character before. The character is the who of our story. It's hard to have a story without a character. We need somebody to read about. So characters are the people, animals, or things that a story is about. We look for clues in the words and pictures to get to know them. So as stories go on, we learn about these who's or these characters and what they're up to. They're people, animals, or things. We can follow animals, we can follow people, or sometimes stories are even about things, and those are usually fiction or made-up stories. We also are looking for what, so what the characters look like, what they think, feel, say, and do. So we want to see how the characters look, describing words of how they look. Do they have brown hair? Are they tall? Are they old? Things like that we want to look for. And then we also want to look for what they think like, feel like, what they say, what they do, things they believe in. Are they happy? Are they sad? We look for that with our characters, and why they do what they do. Do they maybe make bad choices because they had something bad happen to them? Or are they really kind? And why are they kind? Are they kind because they want to make other people happy? Are they sad because someone hurt their feelings? We look for all those things, and when we do those things, we get to understand a story so much better. So we're going to be thinking about characters as we listen to our story today, which our story today is called Suki's Kimono. So a kimono, you'll learn through this, is this sort of outfit that she's got on that it matches her culture. What she's wearing, they call a kimono, just like we wear what we call shirts or dresses. This, for Suki's culture, is called a kimono. And our main character's name is Suki. This is her. And we're going to be following Suki's story as we read this. So our author is Kieri Ugaki, the person who writes the words, and as well as Stephanie Jorish is also the author who writes the words. So they worked on the story together. So let's get started into it. Suki's Kimono. On the first day of school, if you want to follow along with me, if you want to take your finger and kind of point along with my mouse, I will be taking this mouse right here. It kind of turns into a line to follow along with what I'm reading. If you want to do that, go ahead and follow along with me. On the first day of school, Suki wanted to wear her kimono. Her sisters did not approve. So there's that word. They didn't approve. They didn't think she should wear her kimono. You can't wear that, said Mari. People will think you're weird. You can't wear that, said Yumi. Everyone will laugh, and no one will play with you. You need something new, Suki. You need something cool. So right away, those sisters are not being very nice. They aren't wearing a kimono like Suki is, and they're saying she can't wear that because people will think she's weird. If I were Suki, I would want to wear what I want to wear. I wonder what will happen. Let's keep reading and find out. But Suki shook her head. She didn't care for new. She didn't care for cool. She wanted to wear her favorite thing, and her favorite thing was her kimono. Suki's Obashan had given her the kimono. The first time Suki wore it, her Obashan took her to a street festival where they slurped bowls of slippery cold somen noodles and shared a cone of crunchy shaved ice topped with a sweet red bean sauce. So, why does Suki wear this kimono? Does anyone know? Go ahead and tell me. Why does she like to wear it? Go ahead, tell me, I'll listen. Yeah, she wears this because she's got really great memories with it of her Obashan, which is kind of like their culture's word for grandma, took her to a street festival where they got to eat yummy food. So she's got great memories with her kimono, which means she wants to wear it because it makes her happy. And so she should be able to wear it. Oh, look at how beautiful this picture is. Before we even read, this looks like the festival that our main character Suki was at with her Obashan or her grandmother. And they were flying these kind of like fish-shaped kites in the sky. They look so beautiful. Of course she's got great memories with this kimono. Under strings of paper lanterns, Suki joined her Obashan in a circle dance. She followed her and copied her movements, trying to be as light and as graceful. She watched the other women and children who danced, especially those who were dressed in cotton kimonos like her. So all of these other women, most of them, are also wearing kimonos like Suki. Her Obashan is, this lady is, and so is this lady. And so she doesn't feel weird. She feels so cool dancing with these women who all look like her. She loves this kimono. Of course she does. Later, Suki sat so close to the stage that when the taiko drummers performed bum 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 bum, she felt like she'd swallowed a ball of thunder and her whole insides quaked and quivered. Before they left the festival, Suki and her Obashan stopped at a souvenir stand. There were many things to choose from, but her Obashan found the prettiest thing of all, a handkerchief of pale pink linen, decorated with tiny maple leaves and cherry blossoms. When she gave it to Suki, she said, "This will help you remember our day." So a handkerchief is kind of like a piece of fabric that you can use as a napkin, but you don't throw it away. You keep it, and you can use it to wipe off your mouth or to wipe off your hands, and then you would just wash it and reuse it and keep it instead of throwing it away like a napkin. And this one that Suki's Obashan gave her was pale pink linen, which was a pale pink fabric or a light pink fabric that had tiny maple leaves and cherry blossoms on it. And her Obashan gave it to her so she would always remember this day at the festival, which is such a thoughtful thing to do. Now it was time for school. Mother checked Suki's obi one last time and took a picture of Mari, Yumi, and Suki together by the front steps. Then, as she watched, the three sisters made their way down to the block to their school. Mari and Yumi stayed several paces ahead of Suki and pretended they didn't know her. Oh, look in this picture, you can see they're not walking with her, they're walking ahead of her because they don't want to be seen with her in her kimono, but she loves it so much. That is not a very kind thing to do. But why do you think they're acting that way? They probably don't want to get made fun of and they think she might get made fun of. But that's not a kind way to treat their sister. But the good news is, Suki didn't mind. She turned and waved to her mother before she clip-clopped along in her shiny red gaita, feeling very pleased in her fan-patterned blue kimono. So even though her sisters were walking ahead of her, she didn't mind. She loved her kimono and she was still going to wear it, which is a very brave thing to do. I wasn't actually in the way of anything. Once in a while, Suki would lift her arms and let the butterfly sleeves flutter in the breeze. It made her feel like she'd grown her own set of wings. And here she is doing that. She's lifting her arms and letting the wind go in her sleeves. It makes her feel like she has her own wings. Look at these characters behind her. What do they look like they're doing? They might be laughing at her, which isn't a kind thing to do. But does she look like she cares? No, she's still so happy. She loves her kimono so much she doesn't even notice them. When they reached the school, Mari and Yumi hurried across the yard to a group of their friends. Suki stopped and looked around. Some of the children turned and stared at her, and others giggled and pointed at her kimono. But Suki ignored them. She took a seat on a swing to wait for the bell. A girl dressed in overalls, just like a pair Suki had at home, sat on the swing beside her. "Hi, Suki," said the girl. "Hi, Penny," said Suki. Is Penny being mean to Suki? What do you think? Do you think Penny is going to be mean or nice? What's your prediction? I hope that she's nice to Suki, but let's see what happens. "How come you're dressed so funny?" Penny asked. "Where'd you get those shoes?" Suki lifted her feet off the sand and wiggled her toes. "I'm not dressed funny," she said. "My grandma gave me these shoes." Suki started pumping her legs. After a moment, Penny did the same, and soon they were both swinging as fast and as high as they could. Swoosh, swoosh, up and up. So at first Penny said, "Why are you dressed so funny?" And Suki said, "I'm not dressed funny. This is just what I'm wearing." And it looks like Penny agrees, and they're just swinging together and being friends. When the bell rang, Suki and Penny jumped off their swings and ran to the gym for the first day assembly. Once they were finally taken to their new classroom, Suki chose a desk near the window. Penny chose a desk next to Suki. As they waited for everyone to find a seat, two boys in front of Suki turned and snickered behind their hands. One of the boys reached over and snatched at Suki's sleeve. "Look at this," he said. "She's a bat." This is not kind behavior. Just because she looks different or is wearing something different, does that mean that he should be mean to her? No way. That is not okay. I wonder what's going to happen. Suki felt her cheeks burn, but she did not respond. Instead, she concentrated on sitting up straight and tall, the way her obashan always did. It was easy to do with an obi wrapped snug around her middle. Her obi was golden yellow, and in its folds Suki had tucked away her pale pink handkerchief. "Welcome to the first grade," said the teacher. "My name is Mrs. Paggio." She smiled. "Let's introduce ourselves and tell everyone what we did this summer." When it was her turn to speak, Suki stood up and told the teacher her name. "Hello, Suki," said Mrs. Paggio. "What did you do this summer?" "My grandma visited us," she said, straightening her sleeves. "She brought me my kimono and my gaita." Suki raised her foot to show the teacher her wooden clog. So her gaita is the shoe that she's wearing. It's what she calls the shoe that she's wearing. Somewhere in the classroom, someone laughed, but Suki took a deep breath and continued. Very brave of her. "The best thing was that she took me to a festival, and there were dancing girls dressed like me, and they danced like this." She took a few steps and swayed her arms sideways. Are these kids laughing anymore? No. No, they love what she's sharing. They're excited to watch her and listen to her. "Look, now she's dancing," someone said. But Suki didn't hear. Someone tried to be mean, but she didn't hear. She hummed the music and she remembered hearing at the festival. She remembered how it felt to dance barefoot in the open air on fresh-cut grass that tickled her toes. She tried to picture the other dancers, how they moved forward in the circle with the rhythm of the music, how they stamped their feet first right, then left, swung their arms first up, then down, how they stepped back and back and back, then clapped. When Suki couldn't remember the next step, she made it up just to keep dancing. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, stop. When she finished, the room seemed very quiet. Everyone was watching her. Suki sat down, wondering if she was in trouble. But Mrs. Paggio said, "That was wonderful, Suki." And she started to clap. Then so did Penny. And after a moment, so did the entire class. Look at, they're all clapping for her and loving what brave she was. After school, as the three sisters walked home together, Mari and Yumi grumbled about their first day. "No one even noticed my new sweater," said Mari. "No one even noticed my cool shoes," said Yumi. But Suki just smiled. As she clip-clopped along behind them, Suki pulled out the pale pink handkerchief from her obi and held it up over her head to catch the wind. And in her blue cotton kimono and in her shiny red gaita, Suki danced all the way home. So even though her sisters were being mean to her at the beginning, and other students were being mean to her, she didn't let that stop her from wearing her kimono. And in the end, her kimono ended up making her a bunch of new friends because she was brave and didn't listen to the people who were mean to her. What a beautiful story about wearing what you want to wear and not being afraid to wear what you love. I loved this story. Now we are going to move on to the next activity with this. Listen to your teacher's directions and find out what you should be doing next. If you are finished, you can move on to the next step. I had so much fun reading with you. I cannot wait to read with you again tomorrow. Thank you so much for being such a good listener, and I can't wait to see you tomorrow. Bye, friends.